Welcome viewers to Polop Talks. On April 14th, Mossad chief Mr. David Warnia, he said that it will take around 6 to 12 months to have a regime change inside Iran. And he also stated that during the war, the Mossad was operating from the heart of Tehran. This means the amount of penetration that Mossad has done inside Iranian regime, that is humongous. Now, obviously, whatever he is saying, he must have calculated how much time it will take based on the current situation. And some Iranian sympathizers might be thinking it may not be true, but I think it may be true. Why? Because for any regime or because for any government to flourish, it needs multiple support. Now, for Iran, who is the supporter? US and China, and they can't openly support Iran, and they doesn't have that much of economical strength to support Iran. And all the Iranian neighbors, they are not happy with it. Even the Iranian people, there are multiple ethnicity inside Iran. Even they are not happy with Islamic Iranian government, because the amount of tortures that they have inflicted on their common people. Now, just imagine around 40,000 people they have been killed within those 3 days of the January protest of this year. Now, when you are killing 40,000 people, what kind of message you are giving to the local population? Now, even today, I saw a news that one young singer, her name was Ghazal, some Ghazal Molan. She belonged to one Kurdish area of Iran, and she used to stay in the far west part of Iran. And she died because of a drone strike. She did not immediately die. She was severely wounded, and when she was taken to an hospital said that we will not treat you because of the pressure from the government. Then ultimately she died. Now, the Kurdish people inside Iran, they have a long history of enmity against each other. So they are not supporting Iran in this war. Now, US and Israel, they are not going to have boots on the ground, and obviously the amount of economic damage that US and Israel they have inflicted on Iran. How much I have seen those videos, it will take years, maybe tens of, it will take around more than 10 to 20 years for Iran to recover without any help. Now, obviously, if they agree with terms of US, then the recovery date will decrease. But at the current situation, Iran cannot recover the damages it has got from the bombing. Now, yes, now coming to the point why I am saying there will be a regime change. People doesn't support you. You don't have economical power. Then how would you build your country? Because ultimately you have to serve your IRGC. You have to serve the intelligence machinery which you have to keep eye on the people, which you can only do if you have sufficient amount of money. Now, that money you don't have. So what are the other ways around? So only the other way left, that is to have a deal with US and Israel. And that is the ultimate thing that will happen. And if that doesn't happen, ultimately this regime will collapse. It is not that if it is not a question that if the regime will collapse. No, it is about the time, because the all the top military leadership, they have been wiped out. The only remaining ground workers of IRGC and Basij forces, they are active, and that's why they gave an advertisement where they have started recruiting kids of around 11 to 14 years of age. So ultimately, they have a very large shortage of fighting forces, and most of them they have been killed. Either they have been killed or they have been buried in their so-called missile cities. So ultimately, they are in a very miserable situation. Only to have missiles will not win you war. Now, the actual game will be played on the ground. Now, how much I could analyze is that Mossad activities inside Iran, it will obviously increase. Mossad and CIA, their footholds will increase, because the regime is at its weakest point in the history. In last 40 years, this is the time when the Iranian regime is unable to fight. Now, when Iran is claiming that they have won a war, in some of the news outlets, we have seen around some billions of dollars has been damaged of the Iranian infrastructure. So And at the same time, when Iran is claiming that they have won the war, so if you have won the war, then how this damage has happened, and why are you asking that you need to pay back the damage that you guys have inflicted? The reality is that your top leader is not there, your navy, your army, nothing left. Only few fighters are there. Even when American pilot was inside Iranian territory in the in the southwestern part of the Iran, they could not get that pilot. The situation was such that U.S. special forces, they came and they attacked Iranian forces in large number. The mountains of dead bodies were there, and finally, the U.S. forces, they rescued their pilot and went back. And Iranian forces, that they couldn't do nothing. Now, what they can do at best, what they means the IRGC, they can only fire bullets on their people because they are unarmed. Now, the very day when the Iranian people will have guns in their hand, and we can see some of the videos in bits and pieces where in the remote areas of Iran, suddenly one gunman will come in their car and they will start firing IRGC car. Then we could see that they suddenly go out of control. The IRGC member dies in the spot. So they are not a fighting force. Till now, the IRGC was completely meant for frightening their own people and to create militia groups outside Iran. They are not an army. Now, when there will be an actual battle, they can't hold their ground. Ultimately, they will defeat. Now, in the same place, the Kurdish fighters, they are fighting this battle for more than 40 years. Now, when they will get the weapons, now I am saying when they will get the weapons, but if you scratch some of the newspapers, if you go a bit deep, that is the only way, the way Mossad can have a regime change inside Iran. Because to have a regime change, you need to have either boots on the ground, or the people those are against the Islamic regime of Iran, they must have weapons, because only then you can have a regime change. So in next 6 to 12 months, there will be a situational change inside Iranian territory. You will more attacks on the IRGC, you will see more attacks on the Basij militia forces, and ultimately it will become the current Iranian Islamic government will collapse under its own weight. It's just a matter of time, and the pressure that is getting built up around the state of Hormuz, and when Iran is claiming that they have laid down mines, see, these are all hoax. I mean, when a fighter jet of US can travel all the way from United States, it can cross the Atlantic Sea, it can cross Europe, and it can bomb Tehran in a 1 meter accuracy. It can take out those mines, and those mine clearing activities has already been done. I saw on news that Apache attack helicopters has been deployed in the state of Hormuz. So just think the amount of firepower US and Israel have deployed in that region. I think in matter of hours we will see some more attacks on the Iranian vessels. I mean, Iran should not play smart over here. I mean, how much you have lost. Just make a deal and save whatever left inside your country. So this is my analysis. So let's meet in next video, and let's see how the war progress in the upcoming days.